I'm Sharon. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Why is it that we procrastinate our music practice so much? No doubt there are times when it's just because we're a little bit lazy. We'd rather not be bothered. It's all a little bit too much like hard work, and there's better things I'd rather be doing with my time on that particular day. So yeah, no doubt that is a fault. However, I don't think that is entirely to blame because, really, I choose to play the instrument. I want to do the practice. I want to become proficient at my instrument. I want to learn to play these particular pieces and so on. So what is it? Why is there that barrier? What's the block to me starting? Why don't I just get down and do it sometimes? And I think it's because initially it's just so overwhelming what's before us and what we know is to be achieved and the obstacles that we know we've got to overcome. And so just the thought of sitting for 2 hours so that I've got backache and I've got to do these scales and then I've got to sort of get the metronome going on this piece, and then I know that there's these particular bars that I'm really stuck on, and I just can't face the thought of all of that time slogging away, and I'm just daunted. And so rather than having a go, I just do nothing at all. And so there's a 5-minute rule that we can apply, where not in a sort of dictatorial sense, but just as an encouragement. Just think, today I'm just going to sit down and do 5 minutes. Anyone can spare 5 minutes in the busiest of days. Just do 5 minutes. There's no more pressure on you to do anything else. Just do 5 minutes. So I'll just rattle through a bit of a scale, and that might be it. Or I'll just do a piece, and I would be very, very surprised if anybody who sat down to do 5 minutes practice didn't find that suddenly time's just gone and you've been there a good 15-20 minutes before you've even looked at the clock. If you just sort of give your mind to something and don't look at the clock, time will just slip by, doesn't it always? And so that's kind of eases you over that hump of getting started. And actually, instead of being a block to you starting, it then becomes a starting block to fire you off into great practice and kind of fires you into the race, as it were, because you've got over that initial starting problem, and then you get involved and you get engrossed in it and time just slips away. So I suggest that you at least do just 5 minutes, and after that the pressure's off. And I guess as you progress through the stages of advanced performance techniques and so on, maybe five minutes won't be enough. You could think, well, I'll just do 15 minutes. I'll just do the bare minimum, 15 minutes. And again, that same principle, but if it needs to be 5, let it be 5. And so then that gets you in a position to do some regular practice, and soon those hurdles that we have to jump slip away, and the barriers to practicing become less and less and less. And also you've built up a habit of practicing every day. So that 5 minutes just sort of helps you to establish the pattern that you can then build on. And it's much better to do regular short bursts than the odd slam every now and then, because let's say you do some music practice on a particular day, and then you do, 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever, and then you can't face the thought and you don't do any for days and days and days, and then days slip into weeks or whatever, and it's ages since you get back to your instrument properly. Just picking up and having a bit of a noodle doesn't count. But then you'll start playing again, and a good chunk of that time that you play or practice at your instrument is now spent trying to remember what you did last time and refreshing your memory, and your fingers picking up the skills again and starting again. So actually you end up wasting an awful lot of time backtracking because you've left such a big gap between practice times. And so again, that's another reason why just do 5 minutes, even if you're just doing a little bit of maintenance mode, just so that the next time you've got a good crack at it, you're not going over and rehashing everything all over again. And so it helps to develop those good practice patterns. And so be encouraged that not all of us have several hours a day in which we can practice. Maybe we haven't got the physical stamina for that amount of practice, certainly not in this hot weather that we're having in the UK at the moment. It's blisteringly hot. It's so hot we can't even concentrate for long periods of time. So, you may not manage much, but just do a little bit, and then a block to starting becomes a starting block to fire you off, and it just gets us over that hurdle of just getting going. So I do hope that encourages you. Have a go, see how that works. I think as well, instead of doing great big practice sessions, try and maybe section off your time. So section off a practice for some scales, and then think, right, I've done that, I've done my technical exercises, go off, have a cup of tea, do other things, and then come back and then think, right, now I'm just going to spend 5 minutes on my pieces. So instead of one 5-minute block, you've got 2 5-minute blocks, and then you've suddenly extended your pattern even further to fit even more in. And again, you'll spend longer than 5 minutes of that, I am sure, and you will progress if you just keep going. Remember, consistency is king, so just keep doing little bits every day, and I hope that encourages you. Let me know how you get on. Thanks for watching. Bye.